Hi, I'm Aaron and I'm the Early Education Editor here on the Family Early Years blog. You might be wondering right now, why am I dressed like this? You might be expecting me to be wearing something more like this, or maybe looking more like this, or even like this. But no, today we're starting out with this. And in the next couple of minutes, we're going to talk about why this dress even strikes any of us as a surprising choice for me. As with so much else, it all ties back in to what we learn in early childhood. Today, we're going to talk about gender non-conforming play in early education. The term describes when children play in a way that defies conventional stereotypes about what their gender is supposed to do or be interested in. A typical example is a young boy playing dress up in a princess dress, or a young girl being super into toy cars and pretend soldier play. Now, this whole concept assumes that there's some correct way to be a girl or a boy or anyone for that matter, and that's just not true. But a lot of us are raised with that idea, and whether we like it or not, it can still stick in our heads sometimes and shape our reaction to something like gender non-conforming play. That's when, in an early education classroom, things can get complicated. Our grown-up brains automatically assign all sorts of cultural meanings to a yellow, sparkly dress. We can't just see it as a piece of fabric. We subconsciously form an impression of who this dress is for and who it's not for. And that's where doubts creep in. In a childcare setting, is it your responsibility to police how children play dress up? What if the parents find out and get upset? And to answer that, we've got to recognize that we're looking at this issue with our own grown-up goggles on. So instead, let's look at it from the child's perspective. Us grown-ups see a dress as full of social codes and meanings. It's hard for us to separate a piece of fabric from everything we've learned about who should wear it and why. Young children don't see a dress in the same way. For some of them, a dress might appeal just for the sake of sensory play, for its patterns and its textures or its color. And for children, the very idea of dress as being for someone specific can be the basis for curious, explorative play about who we are. A while back, I spoke with Jamie Solomon, who is an early educator and a preschool director who spent years studying gender education and early childhood. As she explained it to me, this whole issue is really just a natural extension of children's play. Play is, after all, children's first and best tool to make sense of the world around them. So of course, as they learn about the ways that we express who we are, it makes sense that they'll explore that concept of gender identity in their everyday play. Here's how Jamie explained it to me. Just like children are curious about, say, how a car works, they're similarly curious about different types of people, the things we do and what we wear. That exploration may or may not have anything to do with gender itself. As adults, we can often interpret children's actions through an adult lens and jump to conclusions too quickly. Here's why all this matters so much. Several decades of research show that children start absorbing stereotypes basically from birth, and that they've already got a solid grasp of gender and racial stereotypes by the time they're 3 or 4. That's concerning. But on the flip side, it also suggests that as an early educator, you have a huge influence in giving children a more accepting, open-minded, foundational beliefs about who we are and who we can be. If children grow up thinking boys ought to be some way and girls ought to be some other way, that can start to shape things like what we're interested in, how we form relationships with other people, how we behave every day, and what we believe we can do in life. So that's why it's so important that we discuss these issues in early education. This princess dress does not exist in a vacuum. It's part of a big picture effort of how we teach children to be who they want to be and all they can be. In your everyday practice, that might look something like this. Double-checking the language that you use. Something as simple as saying firefighter instead of fireman, or checking yourself when you're about to say, ask your mom about bringing your coat tomorrow, or when daddy goes to work. Providing classroom books and resources that challenge stereotypical depictions of gender and gender roles. You can find a lot of great examples of this on the Family Early Years blog. Mentioning gender non-conforming play with parents and challenging stereotyping explicitly in your center's curriculum or mission statement. Now, some of the stuff you can start doing tomorrow, and some of it is a longer-term effort, but it all matters in one way or another. And for an issue as big and important as this, we just can't cover everything in one single video. So, if you'd like to learn more about this topic and get a lot more resources and advice on how you can put it into practice in your own early education program, you can find all that for free over on the Family Early Years blog. And if you want more stories like this, you can sign up to our weekly newsletter written by me in the link below. Thanks for watching.